Welcome to my application video for the SSI fellowship in the 2022 cohort. My name is Jesper Dramsch and I'll stick to the recommended structure. First, who am I? Well, I'm Jesper. I'm from Hamburg in Germany, and there I obtained my first 2 degrees in geophysics. That is a bachelor's and a master's, and then I moved to Copenhagen to do an PhD in applied machine learning to geoscience. During that time, I had the privilege to move to Edinburgh for an extended amount of time to interact with the Heriot-Watt University as a visiting scholar. I actually moved back to Edinburgh at the beginning of the pandemic because I thought I had a job here, but then the pandemic happened. Since I held 2 different jobs and now I'm with the ECMWF, but more on that later. In my free time, I do like gaming and also board games, weightlifting and climbing, and also traveling. In fact, in 2 days, I'm going to travel for the first time since Corona hit. So what do I do? When I started out in 2011, I already started the conversation in Hamburg. We had this research software on a USB stick. No bug fixes were possible. There were no compilation instructions. You had to talk to a postdoc. No version control at all. It was on a USB stick. And that was our main research output for staff members, for postdocs. And yeah, I figured that's not really good. So what I did is I talked about using Git for version control. I started writing a manual for that software, so documentation, and started talking to the main professor about possibly getting a software person. They were thinking about an intern. I was more thinking about a staff member, but, well, you know how it is with funding. I also started on a guide for bug fixes, but that is only possible once we start using Git, and they weren't really comfortable with GitHub because it is online and it is proprietary research. So, yeah. But I hear it has become better. Then I moved to Copenhagen. It was an entirely new lab. I consulted on best practices for open source software, and I advocated for those solutions in those meetings. And yeah, I started using Python instead of MATLAB. And in fact, one of my colleagues now uses Python in her PhD as well. And my entire PhD is open source, over 10 papers, and all of them are on GitHub. You can follow the link to check that out. I'm incredibly proud of it. People have already used it to further their research, and yeah, really good. I do some other shenanigans. I was involved in creating the awesome open geoscience repository, the first of its kind, where we collected cool, often Python, some MATLAB, some R packages, and displayed them when they matched our criteria, which are loosely based on JOS, where I was a reviewer for a couple of papers, and I do talks as well. And I organized a couple of mentored sprints, so I'm really into this. Then now I'm working at the ECMWF. I'm a scientist for machine learning. I try to make weather predictions better with machine learning. And yeah, what are my plans for the fellowship? My main motivation is the community. I am mostly interested in interacting with other people. I have met fellows at different conferences. On that awesome geoscience list, I was interacting with Leo before he was an SSI fellow, and generally those are awesome people, and I want to be part of that community. And yeah, kind of have some like-minded people to bounce around with. I would really like to create a workshop. I've just finished giving a talk at PyData Global, and I think having a workshop around sustainability practices and reproducibility of machine learning research, particularly for researchers and scientists, would be really valuable. And I would love to create some material for that and have the first iteration of that workshop run at a conference. And in addition, I would like to keep my YouTube going, where I do talk about some software, but also machine learning. And I think that would be one way to get the word out and make it entertaining and pack these SSI issues and things that the institute and the organization would like to further into an consumable format as well. I will definitely keep on doing my talks, and I do writing. I link to the right one of this in the application form, and yeah, I do write on my blog regularly about software, about machine learning, and I would like to keep that going as well. I think all of these things are a great part that would be a lot of fun to do, and I would love to become a member of this next cohort and participate with these other fellows in furthering the goals of this organization. Thank you for your time.